going to be interesting, Derek, to see what systems the coaches play today. In the setup, it looks as though they're going to play very, very similar systems. 4-3-3 with that diamond midfield.
So Roma have been working extensively on their 4-3-3. Heavy emphasis on wingers. Any second now. Yeah, they should get going.
They've been working on getting the full-backs forward as well to supplement the ball going out wide and the runners going in the box. Has been quite something to see. Saw training the other day at Harvard. It was all technique, all pattern. Players seemed to relish it. Everybody kept getting the reps in. So let's see if they can, as we said in the opening, can they implement that today in a somewhat meaningful game.
As Roma have been very studious in their preparation phase at Harvard. Juventus based at Babson College, not so very far from here, just up the road. The perfect gelato at the conclusion of a very tasty multi-course meal across the USA this past week and a half. Roma and Juventus, an appetising prospect at Gillette Stadium. Just 3 weeks prior to the beginning of a new Serie A season. Juventus seeking an unprecedented 7th successive Scudetto. Roma runners-up 3 of the last 4 years. Daniele Rugani playing in the heart of the Juventus defence. He might get quite a bit of game time in the new campaign. But Leonardo Bonucci having gone off to Milan. Transfer that nobody really saw coming a few weeks ago. Milan and Pjanic.
Excellent defensive shape initially here from Rome. Everybody back in the half. Dżeko will be the first one to trigger the press. There he goes now. Closing down Benatia.
On the flick by Juan Cuadrado, who has been sharing speculative sentences with Roma amongst other clubs. Gonzalo Higuain scored a very classy goal in the last game against PSG. Alexandro wasn't away properly. Marquisio and Higuain swivelling. And the attempted clearance was by Alexander Kolarov, who was joined up with Roma a few days ago, former Manchester City player.
Well, as the ball came in there, Derek, it was quite amazing that
an uber drive for success. Paul, as we talk about Roma, they got close to Juventus. Can they get even closer? We'll discuss that as Kolarov looks to feed it in.
We just mentioned before that the last Juventus attack, Mandżukić completely lost his footing on the surface.
Pjanic playing against his former club. He learned a lot at Roma. Bosnia-Herzegovina international. Tia De Chilio, who's highly flexible, can play at fullback or in central defence. Recent signing from Milan. They had to bring someone in to buttress the defence, Juve. Cuadrado. And Kolarov for company, free kick.
Well, that's one thing that Kolarov will bring to the table as far as Roma are concerned. He doesn't mind a challenge. He doesn't mind a challenge in training. And he most certainly doesn't mind a challenge in the game. Cuadrado knows that he's going to be around all day.
In pursuit of the ball, Alexandro. To chisel a corner out of that, failing to do so. A reminder, you're watching the International Champions Cup on ESPN, presented by Heineken. Eusebio Di Francesco, the man at the Roma helm. He's a member of the Roma side that won the Scudetto back in 2001. Quite the name for himself as a coach in Italy with Sassuolo. Previously unheralded club. Got them all the way into Europe, into the Europa League. Getting the call from the team he used to play for after the departure of Luciano Spalletti. Paulo Dybala. Magnetic player to watch. Cuadrado with a little touch on, and now Higuain. Looking for that wide option again. Alexandro, one bounce, and fielded by Alisson.
A little bit too quick, the ball coming in there. The runners could not. Higuain, the number 9, played the ball out wide there. Alexandro, he whipped it in very, very early. No runners in the box.
Daniele De Rossi, Mr. Roma. Actually, we used to say that about Francesco Totti, who has decided to hang up his boots. But will continue to work with Roma in a directorial capacity. And Strootman, that ball right into the belly of the Juve defence. It'll be interesting to see how Rugani fares playing alongside Benatia. The free kick given. Kolarov picks himself up.
And I think we'll see Kolarov take this free kick. He's got an absolutely fantastic delivery with the left foot. We normally talk about players missing that first man. I don't think we'll have that issue with him. He's going to try and whip that ball in between Buffon and that back line of Juventus.
The adjustments made by Gianluigi Buffon. Diego Perotti is the other player standing over this for Roma. Hit by Kolarov. High into the air off the head of Mario Mandżukić. Cushioned by Cuadrado that time as Juve look to break. Dybala. And the foul was by Kolarov.
Just lent into Dybala there. Dybala bringing the ball down. Brings it down his chest or takes it inside Kolarov. Kolarov, not much in it. Referees thought it was a foul. A little bit of a soft one for me.
It's from a club, Manchester City, to make themselves a bit younger in many positions. So now with Roma. And they're delighted to have Kolarov on board.
I think it's an excellent signing. Almost a steal from Manchester City, Derek. He brings an edge to the team. He brings that training ground ethic. Works very, very hard in training. Good quality, as I said, on the ball. As soon as I say that, he gives it away.
Never fails, Paul. There's Dybala. Trying to make waves. No real pictures behind the shot. Gobbled up by Alisson.
Beautiful balance from Dybala there on his left foot. We know he's predominantly left-footed, but excellent balance there, carving through the Roma defence.
Perotti's pass that time towards one of the newcomers, Gregoire Defrel. Saw him in the last game. A couple of years at Sassuolo. Under skills under Eusebio Di Francesco. Juan Jesus, the Brazilian. Kolarov seeing a lot of the ball in the early going for the Giallorossi. So nicely timed pass, and Perotti. Juventus caught out a bit there off the head of Rugani. Now Defrel looking for options, and the obvious one is always Edin Džeko. Well, he applauds the idea.
Service coming in the box again. They had runners in the box. The first phase of the attack. Here's the second phase of the attack. I think Džeko will be a little bit disappointed that at least he didn't find the frame there, Derek. It was a difficult chance outside of his right foot on the volley. But the service coming in from Defrel, from Perotti, and as we know, as we said already, from Kolarov. It's going to be something to look for this season with Rome.
Džeko, who ended the season with a club record 39 in all competitions. Another free kick forthcoming. Kolarov back on his feet. Max Allegri, such an urbane figure. 3 successive domestic doubles with Juventus. Gigi Buffon in all likelihood his last season. He'll turn 40 in January of next year. What a servant to club as well as country.
Roma got a lot of height in the box here. The service will come, I'm sure, again from Kolarov.
Alexander Kolarov, isn't a bad delivery. So bobbles around. Marquisio did his best. It was struck crisply as it fell back for Raja Nainggolan. And he can hammer them.
Well, the service coming in initially from Kolarov is excellent. Second phase of the attack. There's a strike over the top of the crossbar, not troubling Buffon. But as I said, Derek, Roma are going to cause teams problems with the service from Kolarov coming in and the height that they've got in the box. They're going to cause teams problems.
10 minutes in. Great to have the pleasure of your company. This match on the US, the ICC for this year. De Rossi and Dżeko. Nainggolan had joined the throng. Very much an all-rounder as midfield players go. Raja Nainggolan has just put pen to paper on a new contract with Roma.
Yeah, there was talk about teams from the Premier League coming to maybe try and snatch him away, but he's, as you say, Derek, 4-year contract. I think he's a superb player. He's an aggressive player. He's got an eye for a pass. He can score goals.
I remember Paul used to watch him a lot when he was with Cagliari. Could never work out why the bigger clubs didn't go after him. Terrific day for fans of Serie A here in the Boston area. Roma and Juventus.
The movement of Strootman and Marquisio on the ball. Marquisio is tending to hold a little bit. Nainggolan is drifting from the right inside. It's causing Juventus some problems here. They're just very comfortable here in possession, Roma. Getting ready for the runners in the box.
Nainggolan. Low delivery. Raja Nainggolan, the Belgian international. Strootman. Such an unlucky player on the injury front. Going to put those difficulties behind him. De Sciglio for Juventus. Cuadrado. And Mandżukić. It wasn't quite right for Mario Mandżukić. Prefers to play through the middle, but often to be found on the left-hand side of that attacking three behind Higuaín.
And he does it extremely well. I never saw him that he could play in that position, but he plays it fantastically well. He tracks back, he gets in the box. Very, very mobile. Very interesting, Derek. Roma, the very, very high back four, they're very, very high, but as soon as there's no pressure on the ball, they drop immediately.
De Sciglio for Juve. The diminutive Dybala. The idea was to spring Higuaín on the Roma defence.
It's always a difficult one. Very, very, you've got to be absolutely inch perfect. A with your run and B with the pass.
Now, Perotti, Juventus looking a bit stretched. Diego Perotti and Dżeko, deflection there of Alexandro behind for the corner. Quick fire stuff from Roma.
Yes, no, it's good stuff. I think Roma are very, very pleased with the start to this game. Moving the ball well. Very direct at times. If it's not on to go direct, then they go east-west. We're going to see the service again from Kolarov. You look at Fazio and Jesus going in the box, so you've got Džeko. A lot of power in the air there. Nainggolan just hanging out 10 yards outside the box on the top of the D.
So the left foot of Kolarov. That deep corner. Always going wide, the header by De Frel. Roma wearing the traditional colours of the Eternal City. Imperial purple, as they call it, with the yellow trim. 2008, the last time they lifted silverware. Long overdue. Might this coming campaign be their season? Because Milan are going to be much stronger. The Chinese owners. Probably a good bet that Inter will be better too. And you can never count out Napoli. Pjanic. Certainly a fascinating Scudetto race and prospect. And it all starts in 3 weeks' time. And the VAR coming in as well. Video assistant referees. If you're not familiar with the terminology, you will be soon.
Absolutely. Roma in the ascendancy. I think the patterns are working very, very well for them. Lots of movement in the side. Juventus, everybody back in that defensive third now.
There's Kolarov. Trying to work something with Perotti. Cuadrado. Standing guard just in front of De Giglio. Pjanic. Mentioned earlier, Bosnia-Herzegovina international, but grew up in Luxembourg. Played for all the youth teams, various age groups.
Had a fantastic season for Roma last year for Roma. Scoring goals, scored some spectacular goals. I must admit, I didn't think he had that in him, Derek, to be perfectly honest. Some of the goals that he scored with the skill levels were quite remarkable.
Now the errant pass by Claudio Marchisio. Was on target twice in the last game against Paris Saint-Germain. Here's Cuadrado. Again, they look to build through Dybala and Cuadrado. Disguising it there, Higuain. Possible 1-2, away by Strootman. Here again is Pjanic for Juve. Dybala, lovely skill. The Juve fans around us appreciated that moment. Marchisio and Pjanic working together. Eddie Benatia. Now they've got to get themselves organised at the back. The break was on for Roma. Strootman attempted to make the connection with Dżeko.
Yeah, Rugani saw it. It was a poorly weighted pass actually from Strootman. Dżeko, not the quickest player in the world, but he was threatening the back of the Juventus defence. Rugani read it very well.
Mandżukić certainly didn't have the overdrive to get to that one. Alisson, the 24-year-old, for Brazil at the Copa America Centenario last year. He's from Novo Hamburgo, in the state of Rio Grande do Sul in Brazil, literally New Hamburg. And as the name might suggest, a large German population in that part of Brazil. It's part of Alisson's heritage.
Good patient build-up this from Roma. Very patient indeed. Good movement from the players.
Kolarov's pass for Perotti, slipping it through in the general direction of Edin Džeko. 18 minutes in and still no scoring. It's one of the foremost clubs in Italy. Here in New England today. Enjoyed their training sessions in the Boston area, making plenty of new friends. Bruno Perez, very much a forward-thinking right-back, although he went to sleep defensively towards the end of the Spurs game. Roma were leading 2-0. Spurs brought it back to 2-2 for Roma snatch victory.
Well, Džeko just closing the ball down in here. Doesn't agree with the referee. I'm afraid I do agree with the referee. That was a foul. Good work from the big man, though, closing the ball down. You always like to see your centre forwards closing the ball to the first point of the defensive setup.
And it's time for Own the Save, brought to you by Ally, spotlight on goalkeepers. And Gigi Buffon, one of the best in the business. It's very hard to visualise Juventus without him when the time comes.
You got that right, Derek. He's been absolutely phenomenal for Juventus.
Cuadrado, here's Pjanic. Roma now on the back foot, but it was not a very sort of pass by Miralem Pjanic for once. And Dybala, wide it goes. Paulo Dybala, not for sale at any price. In the words of Beppe Marotta, man who makes all the transfer decisions at Juventus. Understandable that at this time of year, other big clubs around Europe would be eyeing him. Minutes into the game, Paul. In general terms, what have you made of it so far?
I think that Roma look a little bit further along than Juventus. They look very, very comfortable in possession. Having said that, Juve just have that Dybala, he just has that extra bit of vision. His left foot is absolutely sensational. Mandżukić made a couple of runs, not got on the end of it yet. So it's fairly even, Stephen.
Alexandro. Faced by Bruno Perez. This time he does carve the corner out of it. Dybala drops over to take it.
It's always interesting to see how coaches set up from set pieces. It looks like Roma are going to go zonal. Some people are fans of zonal, some people are absolutely totally against it. Some people go half and half. You pick your poison. Service coming in here from Dybala.
Let's have a wand of a left foot. Benatia had to reach for that one. Unable to do very much with it. Our next US Women's National Team Tournament of Nations match-up is tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 Pacific. On ESPN2, they'll face Brazil at Qualcomm Stadium in San Diego. USA hoping to bounce back from that defeat suffered at the hands of Australia. The match also streaming live on the ESPN app. You can join Ian Dark and Julie Fowdy for commentary. Forward to that later. Kolarov. Back it goes, Alexandro. Buffon had a bit of ground to cover. Eusebio Di Francesco was a supporting player when he was with Roma. Never one of the glamour boys, never wanted to be. Somebody said to me many years ago there are piano players and piano carriers. Di Francesco fell in the latter category. Alexandro. Certainly wasn't perfect for Marchisio, but he beats Nainggolan anyway. Claudio Marchisio. Pjanic. Higuain. It's been shadowed by Juan Jesus. Now, space afforded Cuadrado. Vigilio. Cuadrado. Menacing ball. And Mandżukić was in position for Juventus. The threat was there.
Most certainly does. Cuadrado gets his head up. He whips it into a very dangerous area just inside the 6-yard box. Too much pace on it for Alisson to come out and get it. Mandżukić though just on the back stick, just couldn't get to it on the half volley. We were talking earlier about Mandżukić, Derek. I didn't see him playing on the left-hand side. I must admit his work rate is absolutely terrific.
Perotti is behind Dżeko. Kolarov. Former Lazio player, let's not forget. Lazio, Roma's capital rivals. It said that Roma tend to draw their support more from the city itself and Lazio from the outskirts. There are exceptions to that. The Roma neighbourhoods in the Eternal City. Other neighbourhoods more of a Laziale persuasion. If you ever get the chance to go to a Rome derby, take it. Fabulous experience. Dybala and now Pjanic. The block was by Juan Jesus. Cuadrado. Higuain and Mandżukić waiting. Skies it again. Cuadrado. Dybala. No way through for Paulo Dybala.
Good block from De Rossi. Dybala on that beautiful left foot of his, just trying to shape it into Alisson's top right-hand corner. Good block from De Rossi.
Cuadrado giving Strootman the slip. True entertainer, Juan Cuadrado. Is he going to stay with Juventus this coming season? We shall see. Alexandro, now Gonzalo Higuain. Marquisio. Pjanic! Well, he curved it away. Hit with authority by Miralem Pjanic.
As the ball was just going across his body. Just have a look at it here. It goes across his body and he just manages to catch it just the outside of his right foot. Hence the ball drifting wide to the left-hand side of that post.
The International Champions Cup on ESPN is presented by Heineken. Open your world, enjoy responsibly. And in part by Uber, official partner of the ICC. The Juve fans making themselves heard. There are many here in the Boston area who've been following Italian clubs for a long time. I remember in my early days in the city, early 90s, that was the routine on a Sunday morning. North End in Boston, watch Calcio.
Still is.
Well, I hope so.
It still is, absolutely is, yeah.
Oh my God.
Of course, in those days, not as many people had discovered the Premier League in England. And you certainly could have made the case back then that Italian club football was the best in the world. Still has its merits. I think based on that advice, Paul, I'm going to have to return to the North End at some point come the new season.
Absolutely, it's a great place to visit.
Daniele De Rossi. And both sides have been participating in a bit of community outreach. It's been a pleasant experience for all concerned. At Harvard and at Batson, respectively.
The ball there from Dybala to De Cilio. Just played it behind him. The fast break was on, but it's just purely and simply because the ball was not weighted correctly. Everybody from the Roma side was back behind the ball.
Cuadrado, Dybala, it's Higuain. Superb teamwork from Juventus. It all started with Cuadrado. Element of surprise.
Very inventive from Higuain. He knew they had a defender up against him as the ball comes into him. He flicks it up, but he wasn't concerned. It was a nice first touch, flicked it up on the volley, just wide.
Daniele Rugani decides to give Gigi Buffon a touch. Epitome of composure. Daniele Rugani extended his contract last December until 2021. Spent most of his youth career at Empoli. Went back there on loan for a couple of years. Oh, acres of space for Mandżukić. The defender standing stock still. And Mario Mandžukić gives Juventus the lead. It didn't appear to be very much on. A wobbly moment for Roma defensively. And Mandžukić takes maximum advantage. 1-0 to the old lady.
It's the first time that the back line has been threatened. Look, he ran in behind that very flat back line. Perfectly weighted pass. Tremendous skill from Mandžukić. Takes it round the goalkeeper, Alisson, and just slides it with his left foot into the back of the net. Perfectly timed run. Beautifully weighted pass. That's a terrific goal.
Alexandro, the creator, and Mandžukić, the lethal finisher. And he's such a fabulous two-way footballer, Mario Mandžukić. Gets through a power of work defensively. can score with the best of them too. Last season, only the 7 goals in Serie A, but you can never really just look at goal-scoring tallies where Mandżukić is concerned, Paul, and you would know all about that as a former striker at a high level.
Yeah, as I've said, his positional play is excellent. He's willing to work his socks off for the side, and as we saw, the very, very smart run along a pretty pedestrian back line from Roma.
Both sides hoping to finish on a high note. Last game on US soil for Roma and Juventus. Now offside, Higuain, flag did go up.
Well, that's the problem with the way that Roma are playing at the moment, Derek. If there's no pressure on the ball, the back line is just too high. Mandżukić just proved that if you time your run correctly with the right weighted pass, you can break it down. And Higuain there almost did the same. He's just marginally offside.
Well, I've got a couple of games lined up against Spanish opposition. Sevilla on the 9th of August. They've just added another one against Celta Vigo at the Estadio Balaídos on the 13th. As they gear up for Atalanta away. Surprise package last term. First Serie A match of the new campaign.
Looking for a little bit more from De Frel. He's had a fairly quiet afternoon down the right-hand side. Kolarov and Perotti here are going to work it.
Kolarov.
They've been better.
Here is Gregoire De Frel. Bruno Perez. Pjanic patrolling that area, is able to pick the pocket of Nainggolan. He's really been able to impose himself enough, Nainggolan. Dżeko, high degree of difficulty as he lined it up on the volley. Gets it back, Edin Dżeko. Now they've got to put themselves into reverse gear. Strootman and company. The concession of a free kick by Kevin Strootman as he fouled Paulo Dybala.
Yep. No doubt. Strootman just... We were talking earlier, Derek, about the injury seasons he's had. He just looks a little bit off the pace. I know it's only early in the pre-season campaign. He just looks a little bit off the pace, mentally and physically.
It is the time of year, Paul, for dusting off the cobwebs.
Yeah.
Making sure you're ready to hit the ground running when the season proper begins. But these ICC matches have plenty of bite about them, for the most part. Both sides certainly consider it a very useful exercise. And suffice it to say, they'll both be back here in the US.
Yeah, I think it's all about the training facilities. The teams don't get bothered as much. They attract massive crowds, but they can train and they can walk around the cities fairly, without really being imposed upon, which is nice. You can just concentrate on what the coach wants you to work on. Nice relaxed atmosphere.
Edin Džeko leading the line for Roma, who trail by a goal to nil. Mario Mandžukić trying to get home from a tight angle. Everything set up by Alexandro. Roma found wanting defensively.
Such a simple goal from Mandžukić. Perfectly timed run, high back line, perfect weighted pass, excellent skill to go around the goalkeeper.
Back four for Juventus today. You're going to see that most of the way in the Serie A season proper. Changes things, doesn't it, when Bonucci's not around?
Yeah, No, he most certainly does, and Allegri will be looking at the players and working out which is the best system for this group. It looks as though a back four is the order of the day.
Alexandro over there, if you believe the English papers this morning. Chelsea poised to make another silly bid for him.
They're all silly bids, aren't
they? They are, yeah. As an assistant general manager in Germany said to me recently, Paul, there's a price for a player and then there's a Premier League price. Here's Cuadrado, a lot of running room. Spin of the ball didn't quite favour him. Allowed Juan Jesus to just get there in the nick of time.
Well, there's a highlight again from the Roma defence. Cuadrado on the right-hand side, outside to win run, picked out beautifully. Just think the surface may have just let him down a little bit. There's that ball again over the top. They've suddenly discovered that if they do try and run in behind this Roma defence, that's probably the way that they're going to open the door. They've already achieved it once.
It'll be interesting to see what the respective coaches do in the second half. Being the third game for both at the ICC, will the regulars be given a longer shift?
You would think so. You would think some would get 45, some would get maybe 60 today. Maybe push them out to 75, we'll see.
Claudio Marchisio, born in Turin, product of the Juve Youth Academy. Now another gaping hole in the Roma defence, but it's offside against Mandżukić, who was powering forward.
I'm not sure whether that was a guess by that young man there. Because the timing of the run to me looked absolutely perfect.
Kolarov. Roma trying to work their way back into the game. Juan Jesus. 26-year-old Brazilian. Spent 6 years at Inter. Kolarov. Juve defending as a unit. Deschilio, Italian international. Benatia up towards Cuadrado. Dybala. And the whistle.
Well, he should have let it go, the referee.
That's what Dybala thinks.
Yeah, he was about to zing it out there to Alexandro. He was wide open on the left-hand side, bombing down the left-hand side.
Well, you can bring it up with your mate Jorge Gonzalez later, Paul.
I most certainly will. There's no two ways about that. That's an error from George. A lot of the Juve potential subs warming up to our left-hand side, maybe coming on the second half.
Higuain brings it down. Juan Jesus making sure nothing untoward happened.
Well, we've said it, what, 3 or 4 times now. That is definitely the undoing of this Roma defence. Those threatening runs in the back of the defence on the shoulder, causing problems now.
Really is one of those perfect summer days in New England. And you've been a resident for a long time here, Paul. People usually complain about it being too cold or too hot. This is ideal.
It's a perfect day to watch football, to play football, to work on your footballing skills, and to drink in some of these marvellous skills of the players that are in front of us.
Juan Jesus. Perotti. Taken out by Deschilio. Strootman walks away. It's De Rossi who takes. Kolarov. And along the ground. Fizio was just in front of the defence. Dybala. Fizio back away to Benatia.
Dybala surrounded by players, but he's cool, calm, collected, retains possession.
De Rossi using Strootman. And the width provided by Perotti. The width very important to Roma. Almost succeeded in slipping that one through. Perotti goes down, and he's told to get back up once more. He's going to be booked, I think, for simulation. There it is.
Well, we'll have another look at it. There he is, there's the ball. Oh, slight maybe coming together, but I don't think there's enough for a penalty there. I think the referee's got it right.
So Jorge Gonzalez clamping down on Diego Perotti. His comportment just then. 5 minutes remaining in the first half. Don't forget, Wednesday, 2:30 p.m. Eastern. Another great pre-season friendly for you on ESPN2. And Manchester United take on Italian side Sampdoria at Aviva Stadium in Dublin. Also streaming live on the ESPN app. Enjoyed watching Manchester United here in the US at the ICC. In the friendly matches before that, against the Galaxy and against Real Salt Lake. Different managers do it different ways. Jose Mourinho organising more in the way of preparatory games than others. Perotti. His radar went a little wonky.
I think if you ask players, Derek, I think they'd much prefer to play in a meaningful game than to go slogging on the training ground.
Max Allegri's side, 1 to the good. You're watching the International Champions Cup on ESPN, presented by Heineken. Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts. Shouldn't forget that the old stadium, the old Foxborough, was a venue for the 1994 FIFA World Cup. Italy featured in a couple of matches here in Foxborough. But all their time against Nigeria.
You've got a fantastic memory.
Well, I was here, so...
Even so.
Dybala. Higuain. Now, Cuadrado. Every so often, you may just slow it down and then burst into attack.
Well, that initial ball over the top, if that's not on now, then they just retain possession. They've got the 1-goal lead. They'll just keep it, wait until one of the Roma players switches off, and then they'll hit that killer pass again.
Rogani knocks it forward. Dybala. And the beautiful challenge came in from Fazio.
Beautiful skill. I mean, that is absolutely drilled into his feet, fizzed into him. It stuck, composure, kept his balance, drew the foul. Absolutely terrific.
Federico Fazio covering up. On the side, Juan Jesus. Here's Mandżukić. There's Fazio. Slight pause here. Bruno Perez.
Yeah, he got clipped. He got clipped by, I think it was Mandżukić, which is never a pleasant occurrence. Just went over the ball a little bit naughty. Apologises.
Coming up on the Ally half-time report. All the first half highlights of this game being played here in Foxborough, Massachusetts. And a look back at El Clasico. Barcelona against Real Madrid last night in Miami. They got the big build-up and it didn't disappoint. And the second time Barca and Real Madrid had faced each other outside Spain.
soon as that game was announced, the scramble for tickets was incredible. All over the country, all over the world, actually.
I have a feeling those two will be back to face each other as well. Probably sooner rather than later. Kolarov. And Perotti takes over. And Buffon decisively coming off his line in the final minutes of the first half.
Yeah, Perotti was just trying to pick out Dżeko there on the back stick. He had his run blocked, actually, which made it to look a little bit of an embarrassing run, but it wasn't the case. Just good defending, putting the body on Dżeko.
Juventus, we mentioned Barcelona. Juve lost to them in their first game in East Rutherford, New Jersey, first game at the ICC. Going down 2-1. And defeated Paris Saint-Germain. What was a thriller. Second match in Miami. That will be all for the first half here. And Mario Mandżukić coming up trumps for the old lady of Italian football. It was a splendid finish with Alisson rendered helpless. Roma 0, Juventus 1 at the break.